While the controversial movie Sound of Freedom is taking on Hollywood, and Mel Gibson is urging people to go and see the film,
one of the most disturbing problems in our world today is human trafficking, and particularly the trafficking of children.
let's recall some interesting and shocking details of the actor's life. And believe us, it's worth watching.
We're not really sure where we should start with this one. Mel Gibson has been the center of a lot of controversy over the last few years, and we can't help but wonder whatever happened to the hunk in Braveheart that fans all over the world fell in love with. More specifically, what drove him to leave his wife of over 30 years? When the world found out that Gibson was leaving Robin Moore for another, much younger woman, they just blamed the standards of Hollywood. His reputation was already in tatters, so when his second marriage to Oksana Grigorieva blew up in flames, all fingers were pointing at Gibson. From restraining orders to leaked tapes, we have all the juicy details of why Mel and Oksana were one of Hollywood's most disastrous relationships in history.
Truth is that I don't really know what women want.
Don't forget to subscribe to Rumor Juice because we're your go-to channel for everything celebrity. For more than 30 years, Gibson was married to Robin Moore, a former dental assistant. After 3 years of dating, the couple married in 1980. These were the days before the actor's rise to fame, and since Mel was focused on his career, the pair had to live in an apartment that cost them a mere $30 a month. Perhaps things for the couple were easier before Gibson made it big in Hollywood, because as soon as the actor started getting the attention that he wanted, things seemed to go downhill. At first, things between the couple seemed almost perfect. That was until Mel began to share his opinions about feminism. Gibson stated publicly that a woman's place should be at home, raising the children and building a home with a secure atmosphere. And that was precisely what Robin did. However, people couldn't help but wonder if she took up the role of housewife because Gibson didn't give her another choice. She did her best to be the picture-perfect mother and wife. She not only birthed 7 of his children, but also maintained their home in pristine condition for 3 decades, while Gibson enjoyed all the luxuries that came along with his fame. Gibson confessed to the media that he did not support feminism, and added that feminists don't seem to like him either. Perhaps that was because of all the eyebrow-raising things he said about his wife?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Don't look up. He'll make me hear another disgusting joke. He's such a schmuck.
He even went as far as saying that his wife would not receive salvation simply because Robin follows Protestant beliefs and is not a Catholic. However, he did take the time to add that Robin is a saint, and compared to him, she's a far better person. He also referred to his wife as his very own prettier version of the Rock of Gibraltar. We're not sure how Robin felt being compared to a mountain, but fans have assumed that she probably wasn't thrilled about it.
And I'm ashamed of that. That came out of my mouth. That I'm not that. That's not who I am.
Shortly after Mel gained global exposure, his drinking problem started to get the better of him. It seemed as though the actor struggled to keep his life out of the limelight. Then in 1985, Robin convinced Mel to take a break from acting, accusing him of neglecting his fatherhood and wasting his talents in Hollywood. Gibson went on a 2-year hiatus, returning to his farm in Australia, but in 1987 returned to start the filming of the Lethal Weapon series, and his controversial behavior grew even worse. Mel's affair with actress Diana Aloise attracted public attention, and the actress would later confess that they'd had an ongoing affair. According to Diana, she met Mel at a party in California, and after several drinks, the two had a very intimate encounter in the ladies' room. However, it didn't end there, as Diana claims that they had a 4-month-long relationship, but she ended things after it became clear that Gibson would never leave his wife. No one could have imagined how Robin felt when she found out about the affair, especially when the whole world knew about it too. Unfortunately, things didn't get any easier for the couple. Although Robin did her best to save their marriage, Gibson's drinking problem worsened, and it became clear that the actor was struggling with alcoholism. Robin had to resort to moving into a separate bedroom, but maintaining the household for the sake of the children. Robin also promised that she would keep the sad truth about their failing marriage a secret in order to protect his public image. However, it seemed as though Gibson was more than capable of ruining his image all on his own. His addiction landed him in some very hot water with the law when Mel was arrested for driving under the influence in 2006, during which he ranted anti-Semitic comments. Mel also had previously made derogatory comments about homosexuality. It seemed he was on everyone's bad side. Robin urged her husband to meet with members of the gay community in an attempt to correct his bad behavior and comments and salvage his image, but the damage was done. Their marriage and his reputation had hit rock bottom. It wasn't until Gibson's affair with the Russian beauty, Oksana Grigorieva, made headlines all over the world that Robin had decided that she wasn't going to bear the pain of their toxic marriage any longer. Gibson's attempts at keeping the affair out of the spotlight were futile. The press quickly got a hold of the nitty-gritty details of his Costa Rica vacation with Oksana. In an even more shocking turn of events, it was later revealed that some of the actor's own kids had joined them on their little romantic getaway, and what's more, Oksana was pregnant. It wasn't much later that Robin went through with filing for divorce. After a very messy divorce that spanned over a 2-year process, Robin received half of their joint fortune, making their divorce one of the most expensive yet in Hollywood. She was awarded half of Gibson's $850 million fortune, along with half of all Gibson's future movie royalties, a grand total of $425 million. Even though she gained a small fortune from the divorce, there's no amount of money that could take away the pain Robin had to endure during their marriage. She had dedicated over 30 years of her life to a man that seemed very casually to throw their relationship away. With a new baby on the way, Mel and Oksana emerged as a couple, and it seemed that she truly loved Mel, a friend told People, who also added that Grigorieva had converted to Catholicism for the actor. Sadly, it didn't take long for things to fall apart. Just a few months after giving birth to their daughter, Lucia, in 2009, Oksana filed a restraining order against Gibson. She accused him of domestic abuse, according to the documents. Mel repeatedly hit Oksana in the face, which resulted in multiple injuries that included a broken tooth, dislodged veneer, and mild concussions. "I thought he would kill me," Grigorieva told People. Gibson later admitted to slapping her in order to restrain her from allegedly shaking their baby, Lucia, back and forth, but denies his ex's account of the events. "I slapped Oksana one time with an open hand in an attempt to bring her back to reality. I did not slap her hard. I was just trying to shock her so that she would stop screaming, continuing shaking Lucia back and forth." This led to the launch of an investigation into domestic abuse against Gibson, but the most controversial evidence against him would only reach the public a month later. An audio tape in which Gibson can be heard unleashing a profanity-laced tirade against Grigorieva hit the internet. Ultimately, 6 tapes, which Grigorieva denies releasing, were leaked to the public. They include the actor using rude remarks that include racial slander, as well as angry rants against his ex for everything from her tight clothes to her fake boobs.
"I'm really angry and really sad, and I really just want to hurt someone or myself. Do you understand? You've done this to me. I was never like this."
In addition to the embarrassing tapes, revealing emails and text messages were released that exposed secret negotiations that failed to keep the tapes private. At one point, the actor had agreed to pay $15 million to keep the videos under wraps. In the end, Gibson had to plead no contest to a misdemeanor count of domestic violence. Finally, the actor received a sentence of 3 years probation with counseling and community service and agreed to pay $15 million to Oksana. Oksana also narrowly escaped charges of extortion, but as part of the settlement had to sign a confidentiality agreement that would prohibit her from publicly saying Gibson abused her. In 2013, she appeared on The Howard Stern Show, and although she never used the words directly, Gibson's lawyers managed to convince a judge that she violated the confidentiality agreements. This mistake cost her a large chunk of the settlement money, and Oksana has since sued her lawyers for making her sign a bad deal. Mel seems to have moved on from his scandalous past, and in 2014 he revealed to the world his latest relationship was with screenwriter and former equestrian Rosalind Ross. Since then, the couple has established a seemingly happy little family.
Yeah, it's a real roller coaster ride. You know, I think I'm the same person I always was, except for people as they go. Time teaches, and you learn as you go. So.
After 2 years together, Rosalind gave birth to Gibson's 9th child and 7th son, Lars. To date, their relationship has been clean of any controversies, and the only odd thing about their beautiful romance might be their age difference. Gibson celebrated his 65th birthday earlier this year, and Rosalind turned 31. Despite the 34-year age gap between them, the couple could not seem any happier. Fans aren't sure if Mel will ever be welcomed back into the good graces of Hollywood after all the things he's had to say, and all the hearts he's had to break. While it's nice to see that he's finally happy, if there's one place that never lets anyone forget about your past, it's Hollywood.